Back in 2012, Toyota joined forces with BMW because they didn't have the resources to design a 3.0 liter engine. And what was birthed was the Toyota Supra. Today we have the 2024 Toyota Supra 3.0, one of the classiest and sportiest offerings from Toyota, but this one is available in 6-speed manual and rear-wheel drive. How does it stack up to the competition? Is it actually better than the Z4 from BMW? Let's find out. Starting off with the exterior of the 24 Supra, the first thing you notice is the sexy body lines everywhere. It's got hips, it's got lines, and it's got class. But in the front, you do have tri-beam LED headlights with the little light diffuser running along all the way to the side here. But you know, the lights have to be my favorite part of the exterior of this Supra. But where it starts to really fall off, considering this is a performance vehicle, is the fake vents. You got fake vents here on the side, fake vents up here, and then you've got some functional vents over here and in the center, but again, more fake ones on the other sides. But you do have a very nice looking flat black lip on the bottom here. It goes really well with this red paint job that this Supra has. Wrapping around to the side, again, you see more of these lines sticking out, coming up in through the hood, right into another fake vent. But below that, we do have 19-inch wheels, and like these are like swords almost. I like the wheels a lot on this. Hiding behind the wheels though, we do have very large Brembo brake calipers and a very massive rotor. Overall, it's got the power to stop you after you're banging gears on the street. But one thing that is absolutely amazing is the carbon fiber side view mirrors. Looks absolutely fantastic. I love the look of carbon fiber with the lane departure warning there on the side. No cameras underneath, but that's okay. You're in a performance car. But again, more of those fake vents. I really wish they just would have made some of these functional. That's what it really needs. But what you'll notice now that we're at the side, and you may have seen it when we were in the front too, but it does have the 2 bubbles for the passenger and driver because this is a very small interior. So taller drivers are going to struggle, but this helps them just a little bit. And it adds some character to the car. I think it looks great. Wrapping back around to the hips, again, we do have these 19-inch wheels, but the tires in the rear are just a little bit wider than in the front. Coming all the way around to the back, this is a hatchback. So this whole section here does open up, but you have these taillights that almost look like eyes. They stick out quite far from the body itself, and overall they look pretty good. LED taillights, fantastic. You can see, I mean, that's like 2 inches they stick out from. Moving along to the center, we do have a large Toyota emblem, and of course Supra in this classic script style that they use looks fantastic with the GR emblem down here because this is part of the GR lineup. Moving down below that, we do get 2 exposed exhaust tips. Again, adds a lot of character to it. This is a performance vehicle, so give them to us. But in the center here, you've got one of those little fancy race lights here, which is neat, I guess. But how much can this Supra hold when you are trying to take trips? Because, you know, this is more of a grand touring vehicle, you know, meant for windy roads and such, not long distances and packing up the whole family or anything like that, obviously. But you can fit about 3 or 4 suitcases back here, maybe a week or 2 of groceries. Underneath there, we've got nothing, but we do get a cool Supra carpet. That's pretty awesome. But overall, this opens up quite large, very easy to get in and out of, store things, whatever you need to do. Now on the right-hand side of the trunk space, you do have a little storage cubby here, and in there you've got your roadside assistance stuff, your tire inflator, and that's about it. Tow hook. But you don't want to get stuck on the side of the road in this bad boy. You want to drive it home. Another thing that really shocked me, and it will probably shock you too, but this Supra is equipped with 2 subwoofers as well. Right behind the rear seats here, you got one, and then you got another over here on the right. Got a little thump in the trunk when you're banging gears. What's more fun than that? Also going along the side of the Supra, you do again get more of that black lip coming around. I really like how it boxes out this red exterior. Looks absolutely fabulous. And you see how this body line of the door runs right into the hips. Looks really classy, absolutely phenomenal. This car looks absolutely gorgeous. Now, since this is a performance vehicle, let's hear how she sounds before we go through everything else. All right, we got her started up, but let's hear how she sounds. Not too bad. right, now let's check out the interior of this bad boy. We do have a surprise because there's actually 2 changes for the 2024 lineup, and one is the 45th anniversary edition, but the other is this gorgeous interior. But starting off at the door here, you can see you do have some soft touch molded plastic going on, a chrome door handle, and it actually is metal as well. And then you got some piano black trim, and of course the brown to level it all out. Overall, the contrast is spectacular, and for a performance vehicle, this looks damn good. As for the functions here, you do have your unlock and lock, your 2 one-touch operation window buttons, and then of course your side view mirror controls, which you can also fold in. You've got a JBL tweeter, and then your other speaker there below it. But before we even get into the interior of the Supra, first you've got to notice the Supra door sill there, because of course that looks absolutely gorgeous as well. But the seats themselves look absolutely phenomenal. I know looks are subjective, but I like it. Nice sporty leather bucket seats going on with the chrome up at the top by your neck. And then you've got some perforations going on here. And ultimately though, one thing that is very shocking, because of all the performance cars we ever check out, none of them have electronic seat controls, but this one has 2 memory functions and 14-way adjustability. So that's pretty awesome, if I may say so myself. Hiding behind the front seat though, you do have a little box here that you can open up, and that is a hook for your racing harness. So that's pretty cool. When you're going too fast on the track, you strap in so you're safe. All right, now let's hop in and see what's going on the interior of the Supra here. It is low, it is cramped, and there's a whole lot going on though. Starting off with the steering wheel, I love that they match the interior of the car. So you've got the brown on the outside, the black in the centers here, a little bit more of piano black going on at the bottom. Of course, the Toyota badge, but on the left-hand side here, we've got our driver functions, and on the right-hand side, we've got our multimedia functions. All very standard, no buttons on the back because you do everything over here. But behind the steering wheel, you do have your light controls and your turn signals. And on the right-hand side, you've got your auto windshield wipers and manual windshield wipers. And aside from that, of course, it is adjustable, both up and down, and telescoping as well. So that's always very handy to see. I don't know how Uncle Steve drives this thing. But to the left of the steering wheel, of course, you've got a nice little vent here, pretty adjustable, no big deal there. And then your headlight functions, as well as your dome light brightness control and digital gauge cluster brightness. Moving on beyond the steering wheel, we do have an 8.8 digital gauge cluster. Overall, it looks pretty sporty. I think it looks cool. Now to the right of the steering wheel, where all the magic happens, of course, here you've got your radio functions and physical buttons for that, which I love to see personally, as well as physical controls for your heating and air. And we also have heated seats, which is very nice to have. And shockingly, in one of the first performance vehicles I've ever seen it happen in, we actually do have a wireless charging pad here below your heating and air controls, as well as a 12-volt outlet and a USB type A port. So that's great. Right here we've got, to the left of our shifter, we do have an auto off button that I am going to press every single time I get in the car, as well as our sport mode button, parking sensors, traction control and safety system, electronic parking brake, and then this controls our BMW style i5 drive system for our multimedia center. But what is really nice is the carbon fiber inlay on the center console here. And then here where we have our cup holders and a little storage cubby, and that's it. The center console does not open. You're stuck with what you got. If you can't fit it in the back and you've got a passenger, figure it out or don't bring it. But up here, we do have yet another 8.8-inch screen. So this is for our multimedia center. And like I mentioned, this is very similar to BMW's iDrive system. So if you're coming from a BMW, you'll feel right at home. If you're only used to Toyotas, you might be a little lost. Up above that, we do have our rear view mirror, and it's just standard, no electronic or anything like that. But we do actually get 3 home link buttons, so that's nice to see, as well as our dome light controls and our SOS button when you inevitably end up on the side of the road because you spun this bad boy out. And then a mirror to make sure you look pretty before you get your date. And that's about it. All right, now we're doing 0 to 60 in the 2024 Toyota Supra. We've got our race box going. We got her in sport mode, so let's see what she does.
Did it hit 60?
7.32 seconds. It was a little bit rocky, but we made it. It's supposed to be a lot faster.
It's wet.
The ground is very wet. Yeah, that's true. Now we're on the road behind the wheel of the 2024 Supra, and you know, it drives like a performance vehicle. You're really low to the ground. You're one with the vehicle because we've got the manual here, of course, and then you know that you're in a sports car because you can't see anything. The visibility is practically non-existent unless it's directly in front of me or to my side. Looking behind me, not gonna happen. I mean, I can see out the rear view mirror plenty fine, but outside of that, that whole zone over there is a dead zone. That whole zone over there is a dead zone. So
That sucks.
yeah, but that's kind of what you expect when you get something like this, right? I'm not expecting SUV style visibility or anything like that, but I will say it does handle quite well, albeit we are on wet conditions today. So like when we did our 0 to 60, we get a little bit of sliding action going on, and yeah, so gotta be prepared for that. But
Hey, but you know, we're not professional driver, you know. 7 seconds, I think, is acceptable.
yeah, I mean, we're just drivers only.
That's the channel good about, right? It's normal people rebuilding a car. It's real life situation, right? I guess everybody is not professional driver.
Definitely, yeah. Most people that are hopping in this, you know, they don't know how to heel toe or anything like that. But overall, the comfortability, since I am not Uncle Steve's size, and I'm just your average 5'10" male that is not completely overweight, but a little overweight, you know, I find the seat actually quite comfortable, especially like we mentioned, it does have 14-way power control, so you can dial it in pretty well. One thing that I will mention, because this is a manual, so if you do opt for the manual version, which they do have an automatic as well, if that's more up your alley, but the clutch travel is extremely long. Like, it feels like a year before you depress it all the way. But overall, I mean, it seems really fun to drive. It's definitely small. It's cramped in here for sure. Uncle Steve's basically in my lap. One thing that we didn't talk about already, so the infotainment center, it is very similar to BMW's, but what it's missing, it does have wireless Apple CarPlay, but it does not have Android Auto. So you Android users are out of luck. Something else that's cool on it is that it does have a sport display, so I can see how much horsepower the engine's putting out, how much torque it's putting out. That's pretty neat. I think that's cool.
I really feel like missing like track apps feature,
You know,
like the Mustang.
I agree, because actually new buyers of this car, they get one free track day with it. So you would think, like, if they're giving out that type of incentive or whatever, that it would also have maybe some track features.
Yeah, like I really like the Mustang that we did, the Dark Horse. They even have like, I think like the track, like I don't know, you know, Gingerman in Michigan.
Yeah.
It's a small track, but it's not like world-class track. But they still have that lap there, you know, on the app. But this one and the Corolla GR they don't have this kind of feature.
Yeah, right. We had to bring out the race box to do our 0 to 60 when we should have been able to just do it right from the dash. That's a good point. Uncle Steve with another win. One thing that we did notice, right now we do have the windows up because, you know, it's we're recording, but when you're not recording and you have the windows down, when you get about 35, 40 miles per hour, you get the really bad wind buffeting. So
We can try it now.
see if let the people hear it.
It's 48 miles per hour. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's
Hurt my ear.
Imagine if it was we were faster.
But if you take it to a track, you know, it's required to wear a helmet. And also, I believe all track require the window down. So in case you got in an accident, the glass will not shatter to your face.
Right.
But with your helmet, I think it was fine with the windows open.
Yeah.
But when you're cruising, it really sucks, man.
Definitely. Personally, I like to ride with the windows down, at least when the weather's nice. So
Yeah, hear the exhaust sound, you know.
exactly, yeah. I like to go under bridges and just floor it.
Tunnel.
Yeah, tunnel, floor it. In the city here.
So you're one of those assholes, huh?
Oh yeah. 100%. But let's get Uncle Steve in the driver's seat so he can tell us more about what makes this bad boy so bad. And he can tell us how he feels about the drive.
Well, first let's talk about the powertrain. For 2024, they have two options for the powertrain. They have the 3.0 inline-six twin turbo, and they also have the 2.0 single turbo. However, for 2025, they discontinued the 2.0. Well, I understand why they're doing it, because it's not people. First of all, it's not a lot of people talk about it, and second, it's not a lot of people buying it. And I'm trying to look for the review. It's not much about 2.0, so I guess Toyota did the right choice to just discontinue the 2.0. The 3.0 engine inline-six has 382 horsepower and 368 foot-pound of torque. 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds. And the mile per gallon is 19 in the city and 27 on the highway. Actually, it's not bad for like the car almost have 400 horsepower. So for the 2.0, even better. It has 25 miles per gallon in the city and 31 on the highway.
That's pretty solid.
However, the 0 to 60 a little bit slower, which is in 5 seconds compared to this is like 1 second slower.
Yeah.
And for the 2.0, it only comes with automatic transmission, 8-speed automatic, and a normal regular LSD, the limit slip differential. For the 3.0, it's optional for 6-speed manual or the 8-speed automatic with pedal shifter. So yeah, the 2.0 doesn't have a lot of feature, and then the 3.0 has almost everything like is track ready. They have the active LSD. It's better for the regular one, the traditional one, which is electronic control the torque.
Right.
Yeah, so pretty much it's like playing video game, like Gran Turismo. You can adjust the relative setting. How do I like the drive? The drive is fantastic. Last year was my first time driving this GR Supra, like around the neighborhood, and I hate it. I hate how small is it. I hate the visibility. I hate the wind noise. I cannot even roll down my window at 50 miles per hour and enjoy the exhaust noise. But this time it kind of different. Like maybe I lost some weight. I feel more comfortable, and I feel a lot more fun, you know. So I guess like I just used to this car now and more appreciate it. So Josh, I know a lot of people are kind of disappointed about they using the BMW engine powertrain, and then basically just the whole car is BMW based on the Z4 except the body. What is your opinion on that?
Well, I think it's fine. We see manufacturers collaborating all the time now. You know, sometimes they don't have the manpower or the financing in order to do something new that they want to do. So why not go somewhere where it's been done very well already?
Agree. And also it's a way like a lot of people is like demanding the new Supra.
Right.
But don't you think the Supra, the last generation was 20 years ago. 20 years for Toyota is enough for them to develop like good inline-six engine. Yeah,
you would definitely think so. I don't know. I guess Toyota has different priorities. You know, the Tacoma and the Sequoia. You know, they're more focused on their trucks and SUVs, and as well as their four-door sedans.
And business too, right? I mean, sport car is not always the one of the best seller in the company, right? So probably the worst seller is probably the Supra.
Yeah.
Even for last generation, I heard my friends say like in the parking lot they couldn't sell the last generation Supra, and somehow just I guess Fast and Furious and all this JDM thing, it become making really popular. So and then the price just skyrocket to like $100,000 nowadays, you know. But I have to agree that engine inline-six J2JZ is awesome, you know, so reliable, and you can handle 1,000 horsepower without heavily modify. Overall, I really like it. Can it be daily? It could be if I'm still in my 20s.
Yeah, I mean, I think the suspension is good enough for daily if you really wanted to, but you've got to be like a single person that doesn't have to do a whole lot.
Well, but for the pricing, a little bit over my budget. It's 70 grand with. It's not a practical, you know. It's the space, the storage space, you know. I have to sometimes go to the supermarket and get like a whole big ass bag of rice that I don't think even fit in a trunk.
Probably not. But, you know, you bring up a good point. The pricing is pretty high for a car that they're not selling a lot of. And that's probably why the pricing is so high. But, you know, the one that we're driving today, the 3.0, it does come in at $57,345. And then, but there is the premium as well. And that one comes in at $60,495 before all your other fees.
You know what I'm really looking for is the 50-year anniversary one. They should come up with something crazy.
They should.
How about the 2.0? I kind of curious about the 2.0 one. How much is it? I think it's around 45 grand.
You're basically exactly right. It's $46,440 for the 2.0.
That maybe I would consider just buy and beat the shit out of it. You know, just stay here, there, and then, you know, go over the hill, go off-roading.
Off-roading. It is a much more reasonable price point for the Supra. I mean, because you don't have a lot of things in it either. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. So you just remind me, for 70 grand, you have nothing inside, like no technology.
Yeah, you don't even get Android Auto. Android owners are going to be pissed. Well, there you have it. In conclusion, the 2024 Supra is still a mean little car. A lot of fun to drive around town, take on the back roads, wind around some cool curves, and ultimately bang some gears out. But, you know, maybe it's not a practical everyday driver. Maybe there's better options that you might want to check out. What you should do, though, is let us know in the comments what you think of the 2024 Supra, if you think that you're going to go check one out and potentially get one. But before you do that, smash up the like, subscribe to the channel, because we will see you on the next video.